Here's part 9 of our conversation with Joey Molland of Badfinger. I'm John Beaudin from Rocky Street Music. Speaking of that, and it bothered me when I read this because Wiki has a tendency to be one-sided sometimes when they kind of almost blame Tom's suicide on an argument with you without you. And I mean, that's a pretty heavy accusation. I mean, what do you say to stuff like that?
Well, I don't know what to say about it, really. I'm damn sure that Tommy Evans didn't hang himself because of me. Does that make sense to you? But Tommy and I did have a serious argument the day before, but it was about the money that was being held by the courts in London. And the courts wanted the Badfinger band to agree on how the money should be divided. And there were certain things that Tommy agreed with and certain things he didn't. And so I said, Tommy, we can't get the money until we agree. And he knew the deal as well as I knew the deal, between the band. He knew what it was. And there was no getting around it. Mike and Bill and I, we were all part of the same deal. Tommy didn't like it. And again, there are things there that I'm not going to talk about. There are facts there that I don't want to be saying things about this guy's father. I know his kids, I know Tommy Evans' kids and Pete Ham's child. I know those people. There's a guy who runs the Ham estate, the music side of it. And his name's Dan Matabino. He wrote a book about that thing. And the whole book is like that. The whole book is in these... I haven't read the whole book, actually, but it's very prejudicial. Now, I know he meant well, writing about the band, and he loved the band and all that, but he got some things seriously wrong. And a lot of what he said is what is the foundation for these bad things you hear. He actually wanted me to do an interview for that book, but I was already talking with a guy about writing a book about Badfinger. A real writer. I was already doing it, but there were no Badfinger records in the stores. There were no Badfinger records on the radio. There were no Badfinger records anywhere. They weren't likely to be re-released, and they weren't re-released for, 30 years, when finally EMI and Apple sorted out their legal problems, and the Badfinger music came back on the stores, and then there would be some kind of market for a book, And he went ahead, he wrote the book, he published it himself, and there's a lot of errors in it. A lot of errors in there,
Someone had asked me to ask you about, you have a bunch of songs and you send them to Mark. How far back do some of these new songs go?
Oh, I wrote Shine for one of the Badfinger albums. It was, I had a demo of it. We recorded it, actually. Badfinger recorded it back in the day. We never put it on a record. I don't know if our version's ever been released. It's not quite the same as the new version, but that was just one of the songs that Mark picked. But I sent him a gallon of, you know what I mean? So that's why it's on there.